Good day, family. God bless you wherever you are tuning from. You're watching and listening to another exciting show of Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard, your resource and information show for people getting better with age. Well, let me tell you, today is a beautiful day. As I would always open up TGIT. Thank God it is today. My beautiful friend, I believe, Jordan Marston, thank you so much for that acronym. And he has a shirt and platform for that. But let me tell you, I have been in anticipation for this broadcast. Today, joining us, this smiling face is none other than the incomparable, the overflow coach. I almost go to church. You know the song, "Fill my cup and let it overflow." Right. The overflow coach is with us, none other than Monique Caradine Kitchens. Let me tell you, she is a phenomenal woman. Great information coming forth. And we're very excited because we are living through this special week, which is known as Smart Money Week. Then we have to also use the term for April is Black Women's History Month. So she's going to cover all of it. And let me tell you, she's doing it big. Let me tell you just a little bit about her. She is the overflow coach, as I mentioned, and she has this passion and mission to help women to create wealth through their grandchildren, for them to have benefits of a legacy through their lives. And so that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. More importantly, building wealth, it starts from the mindset first. And she has over 2 decades as an on-air personality and entrepreneur. She has been on multiple podcasts, including CNN, National Public Radio, Fox News, SS Magazine, Sirius XM, Satellite, the Chicago Tribune, Black Enterprise, and now Senior Talk.
Yay! Oh my goodness!
So everyone, welcome to this beautiful podcast and show today. The phenomenal Monique Caradine Kitchens. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
I am amazing. I have been wanting to be on Senior Talk forever. Do you hear me? So I am so glad that we have this opportunity to connect. I admire your work. I admire your consistency and your tenacity, sis. You are amazing. And the information that you provide is awesome. But the passion that you deliver it with is even more powerful. So kudos to you. I honor you. And thank you for having me on your show today.
Well, it is my absolute pleasure. And we need visibility in the community. And I tell you, in building and accepting this mission in media, you were one of the persons I admired as well. So it just flowed over to me. How about that? We'll take that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for saying that.
My pleasure. So as I was saying in our virtual green room, we almost had the show before we started.
Yeah.
Everyone, let me be very clear. It's nothing like being of like mind and spirit. And because I own Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard and I get to select and work with great people in the community, today I asked Miss Caradine Kitchens to come with us because we need to sometimes go back and reset ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm going to start from the beginning. We are slowly believing we're coming out of this pandemic. And if we don't have an assignment or if God has not spoken to you, you need to go in the corner and have prayer. That's all I'm going to say. Because it's imperative that we get to action even through being isolated.
Yes.
Don't let that be an excuse that you cannot be impactful or helpful to your community that you're around and to your family. So I'm going to pull myself back and we got some tools. We're going to go through all of it. She is also, let me be very clear, she has a phenomenal podcast.
Thank you.
Isternomics. Oh my goodness. And we're going to share that sometime in our broadcast. But welcome, and I'm just going to be on the receiving end. So if you will, come at this time.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. It's so much to talk about, as we were saying during the pre-show. It's like, where do you even begin? And I'll just start by saying, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Clara, that, this pandemic has been something else. It's been a lot of things to a lot of people, but one thing's for sure, those of us who survived 2020 and we made it to this point, that means that there is an assignment on our lives. That means that there is a ministry and a message and a mission waiting to be birthed through us. And if you feel like you've already birthed it, it's time to take it to the next level. And as the overflow coach, a lot of people think, all you do is talk about money. Why do you talk about money so much? Why are you so focused on helping, all women, especially African-American women, create more income in their lives? And the reason I'm so passionate about that is not because I'm money hungry or money crazy, or that's all I think about is money. That's not it. The reason why I'm so focused on that, especially for us, is because I know that money is a tool, and that thinking of it as a tool and a resource that allows us to pay for our children's college education so that they can graduate debt free, help them get set up with a home and a car so they can have a foundation. Money will allow us to give to our churches and our organizations and our alma maters freely and generously so that we can help other people and organizations that we believe in. Money can help us completely eradicate some of the issues that we see plaguing our communities. Because we as Black women, we're nurturers. We always want to take care of people. We always want to solve problems, right? So wouldn't it be nice if each and every one of us had more than enough money, not only to live comfortably in an environment that you love, that nurtures you and feeds your soul and your spirit, right? And where you feel safe and nurtured and all those beautiful things. But wouldn't it be great if we had enough money to take care of our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids? Clara, I like to call it having that Rockefeller type of money, that Kennedy family type of money, that, Daddy Kennedy, he been gone since, I don't know what, the 60s, but his great-great-grandchildren are still benefiting from the foundation of wealth that he built. Same with the Rockefellers. They're still benefiting from that money. So what are some of the things that we can do as Black women to create that same type of legacy? Well, I don't have all the answers. I'll tell you that right now. But one thing I can say is that the number one thing that we need to do starting today is adjust the mindset. We've got to begin to we got to let go of our mother's beliefs about money and our grandmother's beliefs about money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Clearly, let me just say this. I'm so glad you said that. The reason this show is important to me is because my grandmother, and I tell people this all the time, she was the first one who, in my immediate family members, had everything in place, shall we say. I went to a reading of the will for my grandmother. And I always saw that experience, as you would say, i.e. on television or through another ethnicity. I sat at the reading of the will and knew what I was entitled to.
Yes, indeed.
So that's a big thing. And I tell people, if we don't, when something should happen,
yes,
when life happens, because life does happen.
Yes.
If you just have that one spoon,
somebody
wants that spoon. And your whole family could be disarrayed because I said, she said, because I was there. Okay, so that's another thing. So what I'm creating through Senior Talk, and we'll definitely revisit it because there is a message that we should join together. I created a term called inherited living.
Okay.
And that is just what you're saying, creating a mindset of taking what you have, learning through it, and making it to be a long-term effect even after you're gone.
That's it.
Put it in place for the family. As my aunt said, we should make our family reunions a little bit. What's the wishes? Something. We got to use better time with our gatherings. However we can. And every family reunion is on Zoom now. Last year, everybody was on Zoom. Consultation. But anyway, go ahead. You on the path. I just had to make that tag point because
I'm so glad you said that, because your grandmother obviously was a visionary.
Oh yeah.
Because back then, grandmothers, black grandmothers, like how many actually did that? There are some that we're thoughtful about, leaving a legacy of wealth. Indeed, it's not like nobody is doing it,
right?
But we need more of that. We need less GoFundMe's to raise money for funeral expenses, and more wills are great, but let's take it even another level and start talking about estate planning.
Yeah, that's the big word.
You have an estate plan, that's even more powerful than a will. And so because it allows you to create directives, specifics about what happens and when. Not, a will say so much, this goes to that person and that one and that one, but an estate plan can say, okay, when Johnny is 25, he gets this. Then when he has his first child, that happens, so on and so forth. Okay. And so this is the type of thinking. One of the things, when I first started doing this money work, I realized that one of the reasons why I wasn't making the type of money that I felt I was worthy of when I worked in media full time. At first, I thought it was because maybe it's because I'm Black, or maybe I'm female, or maybe I'm working at the wrong place, or maybe they just don't like me. But it was none of that.
Right.
The reason was my mindset. And where do we get the money mindset from? Well, we get it from our mothers and our grandmothers, right? And that story about money develops when we're very young, around 5, 6, or 7. Now, even if you think back, Clara, you think back to some memories that you have about money, or when you first started to become aware about money, when you start hearing conversations, or maybe whatever your experience was. And this is for everybody. If you just take a moment right now, right, and think about what is your first memory about money, and that is one of the things that probably, unless you've done the work, it probably still drives your decisions, your behaviors, your thoughts, your conversation about money. I had to unlearn a lot because my money story came from my mom, who's a beautiful person. She may even be watching right now. Hey, Mom. She is an amazing person, and she's way better with money today than she was when she was younger. But I just remember how my mom used to love to shop. And she, right? Like my mom grew up poor. And one of the things that she could do to feel worthy is put on some nice outfits. And she was always sharp. Anybody know my mom will tell you she was a fashionista back in the day. But she would impulse shop and just buy 3 pair of shoes. And her and my father had a joint account. Now, my father was meticulous about the money. So he would spend hours with his little books out on the table, and he would spend hours accounting and making sure every single dime was accounted for. And then my mother, bless her heart, she would go out and just buy 3 pairs of shoes and wouldn't tell my dad until like the checks would bounce and come back. Oh, and it would just create tension. I remember we went to the plaza, Evergreen Plaza in Chicago. Me and my mom, and I sat there and watched her up in Carson's buying these shoes. And I'm like, I know she didn't talk to my dad about this. And she was like, don't tell your dad. So she's trying to hide the shoes. And so those types of things set the later foundation for me about money. Money is short. My aunts and uncles, I would always hear money is tight. I got to rob Peter to pay Paul. So what I'm saying to you is, because I don't want to take up all the time, what I'm saying to you is all of that plays a role in how we experience money as adults. Yes. And I didn't realize that until I got older. And then what did I do? I'm not making enough money at this radio station. I got to get my hustle on. So I started researching and understanding money better. And I found out that it's my mindset that I had to readjust and elevate, heal my relationship with money. And then all of a sudden, Clara,
let me say this. I got one for you. We have to go back to this. I was shopping this weekend. And I went in the store and I said, my goodness, people ransack this place. And I'm very sensitive that people receiving their stimulus checks has been a big help for them.
Yes.
But this lady, the store manager, said people were coming in spending over $600 and $700 worth of clothes.
What?
The lady, I said, this store is ransacked. And she said, no, they just spent their check. Now, mind you, this stimulus check, it is a benefit for however you would see it benefits your family.
Right.
And your personal needs, but there has to be a spirit of discipline somewhere.
Come on now.
Because I kept saying, well, what would she said? I just can't believe we were almost out of inventory. And I just go there and get socks and stuff like that. But it was completely ransacked. I mean, literally. So we're taking money that's on the receiving end. And we're not being, but we still have other expenses that we haven't handled. Do I have groceries for next week? Have I paid an extra $10 on the light bill? I mean, small stuff. And I'm speaking from myself personally.
Yeah.
I thank God that now I have taken this leap to be more responsible, because I may have been that person a couple of 24 hours ago. I mean, but seriously, it makes a big difference to know that you'll have something for tomorrow.
Yes, it is, especially now, if I may. The pandemic, like we said, we both agree, it showed us a lot, right? It also showed us that there is no certainty. There's no guarantee of stability. Your money could be here today and gone today.
Yeah.
And so, in your job, same thing. And so we have to be of the mindset that, number one, I cannot rely on anybody, any job, any corporation for my paycheck, for my salary. You and I talked about this. We've created our own media platforms because we know we want to be independent. And one thing I learned when I worked is, I was like, why am I only getting paid twice a month, on the 15th and the 30th? Like, why does that have to be the case? So I wanted to have checks coming in all throughout the month, the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 10th, the 15th. Why can't I have that type of lifestyle and income? So what did I do? What did you do? We created it.
Yes.
But this is extremely important, what I'm about to say. And I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to spend 60 seconds on this. When you talk about, one of the things I teach is creating your own economy. This is a scenario where if you have a job and your job is solid and steady and there's no threat of you losing it, that's great. But you also want to have multiple income streams. So when you think about the city of Chicago, it has its own economy, tourism, all these things, taxes, all the things that come into bringing money into Chicago. That's Chicago's economy, right? Clara, you have an economy. Why can't you have an economy? I have an economy. I have several income streams. Within Monique Caradine Kitchens economy, I have income coming in from my coaching and mentoring that I do. I have income coming in from my voiceover side of my business. I do voiceovers still from my days in radio. I still do that and get paid very, very well for that. What else? I also have a book. I think you talked about it earlier. This book is in my economy. And so you're going to have a book. So those are 3 things so far in my economy. I'm just now about to branch off into, I'm really excited about this. And then that's the real estate arena. So that's going to be an additional income stream. What else? Online courses, because the things that I teach, the things that you teach, we don't have to show up all the time and teach it. Now they got platforms. You can let that stuff live on the platforms people pay for. So that's my economy. Right. And this is what I want you to know, is that everybody within the sound of my voice right now needs to have their own economy. 3 minimum income streams, right? I forgot to tell you, I also have an eBay store. Look, I don't play no games out here. Right. I'm not playing with y'all out here.
We can get it all. But you know what? The key thing that you said is it's so important. And I want us to talk a little bit about coming or the behavior and then how we feel about this transformation that we want to have.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain behavior and a transformation. I know personally, you just mentioned that book. You heard her say, yeah, I'm going to have to buckle down and get myself together to do this book. Yes, that is my final. You're the 3rd person in the last 96 hours who has said so. It's on me. But, how do we sit through days of isolation?
Yeah.
And I don't know how we gonna da-da-da. And then still come out with a mindset of, yeah, maybe it is my time. I mean, how do we pull ourselves out? Or how do you encourage ourselves? How do we encourage ourselves through this time?
Yeah, excellent question. one of the things that I did, I'll tell you two things that I did. Number one, I pressed into God.
Mm-hmm.
I established a morning routine where my prayer and devotional time was non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
Then I exercise. I also do meditation. So those are three pieces of my morning routine that help me survive. I have to work out because all the anxiety and stuff, I got to work that off.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the second thing, Clara. You've got to get around people who are also visionaries. If you are a visionary and everybody else that you hang out with, they are not, they're wallowing in the whatever the stuff is that people have been wallowing in. You need to break away from that, bless them, pray for them, support them in any way you can, but you cannot allow yourself to be surrounded by that. Yes. And this is why I believe so strongly in having an inner circle, having accountability partners. You and I can get together. When was the last time we talked? We jumped on this line and it was like an instant connection. Yes. Like there was no space, no gap, no awkwardness. It was like, hey girl, hey, what's up? And we off and running. So I know that you and I together, we're not going to let each other get into a slump.
Well, let me tag one point here. Because yes, we can. But here's the benefit or the upside to this.
Okay.
If per the last time we talked and we had no progress.
Honey, listen.
So I have to give you a praise report, i.e., okay, we haven't spoken, i.e., months, weeks, days, years, but here's the upside. This is what I have been doing. And you receive it and it's okay. If you're sitting around October last year and then October this year and nothing has changed.
No, ma'am. Unacceptable. That means you have wasted an opportunity that God has given you. When the world stopped, at first it was like, oh, snap. What is this? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you take a moment and you do that. And you try to wrap your brain around the fact that the whole world is shut down. Okay, cool. I get it. I was afraid. I was fearful, all of that. But then once you say, okay, we're good, we're safe, we're going to stay inside. Now let me start working on something. Do you know, I got a praise report about my husband. This man took that time, that downtime, and we had a financial crisis of epic proportions that happened to us right before COVID, right? Mm-hmm. So when COVID hit, it was like, dang, that, and now this, okay. But this man wrote a whole book during COVID, during quarantine, created a whole course, came up with got a certification in another trade online. So he's coming up out of COVID ready to skyrocket to the next level.
Amen. Now you're on my street. Okay, we're gonna go there. We can stretch it if we need to.
Okay.
Praise report for my husband. We love him very much.
Yes.
He has a paralegal business. However, he found another alternative when some attorneys thought they had to come back to their offices. He started something called document shredding and made them PDF searchable. So here it is. You got a whole big banker's box. He's found some equipment. I don't know where the concept came from. He is now operating in 5 states.
What?
Because I may not have to move, but I know this paper been sitting in my office for over 10 years. So now he makes it PDF searchable and puts it on a zip drive. And nice. I said, wow. So 5 states. We were in Chicago last year. We moved to Indianapolis. We've been to Detroit. We've gone to Cincinnati. It's like, really? Because he found a need and filled it.
That's it.
And in some regards too, what is very mindful is that it's like the thing you waiting on is waiting on you.
Come on now. That's a whole word right there.
It's a whole word, but it's the truth. I didn't know that this was possible. But here it is now, being comfortable in having my own platform and people saying and appreciating my time and my voice and, me being honest. I can be only as transparent as I can.
Yes.
And so it just makes a huge difference. So let's do this. We definitely got to come back because we're going on. But I don't want people to miss an opportunity to see you on a daily basis or as often as you broadcast, because I know I need to be in receipt of just being around you of like mind and its soul. So let's take a quick commercial break. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in and sharing comments. But I want y'all to see this beautiful video. Everyone stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message from Monique Caradine Kitchens, the Overflow Coach.
Hey sis, my name is Monique Caradine Kitchens, and I'm so glad you made it here. Sisternomics isn't just a podcast. It's not just online courses. Sisternomics is a community of women just like you who have a desire to unlock the flow of freedom and abundance in their lives. Now, freedom and abundance can look very different from one woman to the next, but overall, I see freedom and abundance as this: you living a life where you are walking in your purpose every single day and getting generously compensated for using your God-given talents and expertise, and living a life where you have savings and investments and multiple income streams that allow you to make money while you sleep. I also see abundance as you being able to give generously to people and organizations that you believe in, and essentially having an overflow of whatever you need when it comes to your total well-being, mind, body, soul, and finances, honey. Now, this is an ambitious mission. I get that. But I believe that as you use the tools and resources that I'm making available to you right here, you will begin to break through every single challenge you have ever faced. And you'll see your life and mindset transform for the better. And in addition to all that, you'll get to do that in a community of amazing women who, again, are just like you, here to support you, help you, and push you across that finish line. So go ahead and get started by downloading the free resource available at isternomics.com, and be sure to check back here frequently for new podcast episodes and other content being uploaded weekly. Again, my name is Monique Caradine Kitchens. Welcome to the family, and I'll see you again soon.
And I'm singing with Claire Hubbard. That message.
Oh, that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that. Wow.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we have only a few more. I'm not gonna cry. I'll hold still. But there's so much to do. If we could wrap our time up until we meet again in the next 3 minutes, what would you say to the community, those who are watching and tuning in, and especially to women? As you mentioned, this national, we found out it was Black Women's History Month.
Yes.
And so what do you say to women, single, wedded, widowed, looking to come out the walls and be of service? What do you say to women at this time?
All right. I would say you are a gold mine. I'm looking at you, sis. You are a gold mine. There is something within you, a lived experience, a talent, a skill, some expertise that you have that you can monetize, turn it into a book, a course, something else. And I want to make sure that you understand that your life and your voice and your message have value. I also want all of our sisters to know, Clara, that there is a foundation for wealth that we all need to build. So as we create our economies, we want to make sure it's built on a strong foundation. And I won't go into all of it, but I'll just talk about level one of that foundation involves being committed to tithing. Okay, that's how you unlock the kingdom economy, but that's another show for a different day.
Absolutely.
So you recommit to your tithing, you recommit to your saving, and you recommit to giving. Tithing, saving, giving. That's the first level of your economic infrastructure, if you will. And then there are two other levels, but we'll teach on that a different day. So tithing, saving, giving, and understand that you, sis, are a gold mine, and now is the time to mine that gold, monetize your genius so that you can live in overflow.
And as they say in the old missionary Baptist church, you can't beat God given, no matter how hard you try. So you got to take it off the top, and that is a good one. And we'll speak on that, because I was asking some ministers, how is it proper to tithe during the pandemic? You know, some of us are getting unemployment and other funds. by way. So that's going to be another show. We'll get to that, but there is a message in that
Yes.
tithing, saving, and giving.
Yes.
They all work together.
That's
So
right.
I'm going to tell everyone that this will not be the last time that the Overflow Coach will join us. Definitely go to her Facebook page, her YouTube page, or go to her website, isternomics.com.
Yeah, just look for Isternomics everywhere. And we're in a rebranding stage. I'm so excited, Claire. We're in rebranding.
What?
So what it looks like now won't look like that in 3 weeks. So freshening up the brand so it represents us and gets us excited about doing this work.
Absolutely. So let me say to our viewership and listeners, thank you so much for sharing this time with us today. I am Clara Hubbard, known as the granddaughter in the community, always here to serve you. Our co-host today was none other than the Overflow Coach, Monique Caradine Kitchens. And as we always close out our show, in complete darkness, we are all the same. It is only our knowledge and wisdom that separate us. Don't let your eyes deceive you. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next time on See You Talk, Clara Hubbard.